You're listening to This Week in Real Estate with your host, Rob Golfi. Brought to you by the Golfi Team REMAX Escarpment, featuring Conrad Zerini, broker owner of REMAX Escarpment Realty Inc., and Brian Hogden, owner of Mission 35 Mortgages. Let's hear what's going on in real estate this week.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
Morning.
Good morning.
Living the dream, Rob. Living the dream.
Living the dream. So I just want to say we got Conrad Zerini, broker owner of REMAX Escarpment and REMAX Niagara, and Brian Hodgman from Mission 35 Mortgages. Listen, this guy runs a great system. He's got a great team of people. This guy is the man that people listen to, and he is definitely the guy to see if you're looking for mortgages. So, guys, a lot of news came out this week in the newspaper. But before we start, so I got to talk to Brian. I said, Brian, does 28 Tuckit ring a bell?
Yes, that Rob is my Mission 35 home. That was my very first house.
You're not going to believe this.
Oh, man.
I owned that house also before you.
What?
So I wanted to check to see. I go like this, because I own properties around off Lock Street. I own number 14 and 15 Chatham Street. I own a Melbourne. I owned Tuckit. Tuckit was the first property in Hamilton I bought. And I remember some of my labor is in that house. And then when I saw it, and I said,
I had to redo that then, I think.
Oh,
right?
Well, I saw you did pretty good on that. You did 180% return on that from when you bought and sold.
I bought it for 165 grand. That was back in like 2005, I think it was.
It was 2003. Then I'm curious to say, I thought you were a lot younger. Did you buy this? How old were you when you bought? What? It'll tell me the age. It's okay.
Yeah. I was 24, 25.
So I thought you were a lot younger than you are now. So I'm getting close to what your age is. But when I bought it in 1987. 85,000. 85,000
grand.
So wow. I sold it in 89. I sold it before the recession kicked in because I sold it because I was getting involved in another business. 135. I had a 60% return in 2 years, but you had 180%. And you bought it in 2003 and you sold it in 2000. Yeah, you did 2 years. You did way better than I did. Of course, I would sell it. Not bad. 28 Tuckit. I go,
wow. Oh, Rob, the stories I could tell you about that place. Like when I moved in, I couldn't afford curtains. I had vapor barrier on the windows to keep myself warm. I had no money back then.
Kidding. Hilarious. I go, is there another Brian Hodgman? I go, I couldn't believe it. But then I go, I had to see if it was you. It is you. 28 Tuckit.
28 Tuckit. I used to do all my mortgage applications at the West Town, when I was 25 years old, just walk over there and come back. Yep. That was.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Crazy.
That's amazing.
Awesome. That's awesome.
My God.
So some of the news on the GO train, Conrad, what is that going to do for us in Hamilton?
Well, this
GO train. So we're going from 200. We're going from is it 42 trains a week to 240, I think it is, and 40 trains a week versus 250 trains a week. That's crazy. Downtown Hamilton. Yeah. And they were saying 62% of people in Hamilton were driving to Aldershot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so true. Yeah.
Yeah, I in my opinion, I think the economy downtown is going to increase because people now will start using restaurants more here and stuff like that. I don't know. What's your thoughts on that, buddy?
Well, it's been 10 years in the making, right? Like it's such a long time. We've been promised for 10 years. A lot of that profit, I think, was taken out. A lot of that appreciation with the original announcement. Like when you start to think about the Red Hill Expressway, for instance, I think when they announced it was coming, that's when the fervor happened in real estate. I think when it was here, things grew, like prices grew at Upper Stony Creek, but not as much as they did when the announcement came. It's a game changer. I have to agree. There's only 300 parking spaces. That's where the funny thing is. So if you're going to go there and there's only 300 parking spaces, you don't have any other options. So that's going to be a little bit of a thing. So they got to build more density downtown. I think we're going to have to see more density. And And with this happening, I think the density will come a lot faster, and there'll be much more happening downtown. I think you're right.
I didn't even know there's only 300 parking spaces, so that is a factor. Yeah. Holy smokes.
Or maybe an LRT. Get an LRT in there.
Well,
that would be a good idea.
Should have done north-south, right? And they got to improve the buses to get to it, and that's on the plan as well. But Aldershot has 1,600 parking spaces.
Yeah, so now you're going to see people, once those 300 spaces are filled, they're going to say, screw this. You're going to see some of the people in the West End saying, we're just going to go to Aldershot or whatever, instead of parking downtown there. 300 spaces, they're going to have to do something about that. There's no doubt about it.
And there's a huge amount from Ancaster. So those Ancaster people, I would say in that 62%, there's a lot of West Mountain and Ancaster. They're going to go Aldershot all day long.
Yeah. So they'll bypass that. You'll get more of the East Enders, the Mountain maybe, and the people downtown that'll stick to the GO station there in downtown Hamilton. That's actually going to increase. Now, real estate wise, I think now. Okay, so now we got 240 trains going out to Toronto back and forth. So does that mean more people from Toronto will come to Hamilton? Because there's a lot of people downtown Toronto don't have a driver's license or don't even have a car. So they may even, like if we have more events, we'll start drawing more people from there, I would assume, hopefully,
I think to bring people down to James Street will be amazing. Our restaurants are top notch now. James North, like King William. I think we'll see tons of people coming in from Toronto. It's just for a day trip to come in here.
Yeah.
It'll be amazing.
You know what? It is because, well, look at they have all these events in downtown Toronto. People are going to go there and experience the fun times there, the Blue Jays concerts and everything, Blue Jays games and hockey games. Come back. Guess where they're going to go? The restaurants downtown here. Yeah. That's going to be just incredible.
And the Bayfront, right? The Bayfront too, right?
Oh, the Bayfront. Yeah, absolutely. And we got a gorgeous Bayfront, and they just keep improving. And then things are happening there at the marina there. They're doing a lot of stuff there too. I haven't read up the latest on that. And what's happening there. I know we've got a movie studio, is it, or something?
Yep.
Aeon, I think it is. Queen Street North and Barton, they're putting in there.
Yeah. That's incredible. So other things happening in real estate. Hamilton wants to throw another tax. What the hell is that? Holy smokes. So Conrad, do you think it warrants that in Hamilton?
I don't think we have the amount of people that are investors that have vacant units. It's funny. I just found out a lot of, like, there are some people that don't want to get the income, or they don't want to deal with a tenant, so they do keep them empty. And it's not just foreign buyers; it's local people too, right? They just don't want to get involved in that. They prefer to get the capital appreciation and than the income. So it's something that people decide to do. But we don't look. Toronto, they talk about anywhere from 5 to 13% of the condos are vacant. That's not great. It's going to bring a lot of money. It will bring a lot of money. They're talking 1% of the assessed value. So, $1 million, it's $10,000. It's a big chunk, right?
It is, and they're saying it's going to cost $1.3 million to implement this, because they got to hire 8 people. Really? You got to hire 8 people to manage to see how many 300 properties in Hamilton to see if they're vacant? What do you drive by? Okay, it's vacant. Okay, we got a tax. Okay, I think you only need to hire 1 or 2 people. Why 8 people? Come on, we got to get somebody from the city of Hamilton to say what tell me what the positions are, because I need to know. Yeah, I will. I'll tell them I'll give me the same price. I can do it with 2 people, and I'll save the city money. But they figured there's 325 vacant buildings. 183 of them are single families. 11 are duplexes, and 27 are multi dwellings. So
peanuts.
And they're not. And it's not. You're right. It's not foreign buyers. They're not foreign buyers in Hamilton. I don't know why they're going down this road. I do not know why. Does the city think we're a big metropolitan city like Vancouver and Toronto? What? Are they already getting their egos too big already, or what?
I think it's
there's Vancouver. Go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, I think it's because there's a plan in place and we have to do something, right? I think the theology to it is good. It makes sense, but it's like Conrad said, it's not going to have a major impact. I think it's good. Yeah, if you got a vacant property, you can afford a 1% tax. If you can sit and hold on to a vacant property, you're probably in the top 1-2% of people. So to pay another 1%, and if that goes to a good cause to help out housing, hallelujah. I think to your point though, just make sure it breaks even or makes some money. Like if we're just creating a job, that's useless then. That doesn't help.
No, exactly. So on that, like you're going to probably see some houses being torn down, I would assume, because some of these houses you can't live in. And I'm assuming, and like you said, people, just don't want to deal with tenants. And I don't know what other reasons somebody would have a house vacant. I mean, I always would try to get income on it. I mean, I don't like anything vacant unless I know I'm going to tear it down and build. But I think you have to have 184 days of vacancy before they can start charging you a tax. So I think what does it say? 25% they figured will probably end up start renting them out. They won't be vacant. So it'll help with the shortage of living tenancy situation that the shortage of tenancy situation that is happening in the Hamilton area. But
some people might even use an Airbnb in that case because they could do a 30-day Airbnb, and I don't know if that really solves the issue then for shortage, right? Because that would technically be rented then.
Yeah. So we just solved the tax problem in Hamilton.
In one shot. There you go.
In one shot. Brian, are people utilizing the mortgage home improvement program? Like, I mean, we know it's out there, but we just keep, like, for realtors, we just don't have it on the, like, off the cuff of our tongue to explain to our clients to say, hey, you know what? Like, I know it's not the kitchen, but go see Brian and he can get you the money, rolled into your mortgage at 1.5%, 2.5%, or whatever. Is that still popular, or is it, or us as agents are not explaining it or giving that information out as much?
Yeah, it's a great one. You know what? We used to do a ton of those programs, going back 2-3 years ago, and they were awesome because you had the pink shag carpet. You needed 20 grand for new floors. As long as you had a dollar for dollar increase in value, the lenders would give out the money. It was awesome and really great way to sell that sort of ugly listing, right? I think what's happened in this, we funded 151 mortgages in June. We did 0 purchase plus improvements. And I look back, we haven't done one in the past 6 months. And the reason why is because, number one, I think first-time buyers, they're just getting maxed out. They're like, I got to buy for my max. I don't have another 30 or 40 grand room to add into the mortgage, so I'm buying for my max. Yeah. And then anybody who's like an up buyer or like a move-up buyer, they got a ton of equity, right? So those buyers are putting down 20%, if not 30% anyways. Yeah. So they'll just hold back the funds. And that was, I got to tell you, Rob, that was one of my favorite programs ever because it actually really made a difference for people. But
I know. Like I know years ago when it started coming out, it was exciting and everything. And I had one guy, I remember he got new windows and he put a new furnace in, and it made a huge difference. Mm-hmm. And but I know there's a lot more paperwork, but I'm telling you,
I got a funny story about that one actually, Rob.
Yeah. So go ahead. I want to hear it.
First purchase plus improvement I ever did. Okay, I told the guy you get the money on closing date. So I didn't realize that. I said, "Oh yeah, you get your $40,000," and this was a long time ago. Okay,
yeah,
so you get your money on closing, and so he's got the contractors, renovators, and he's expecting an extra $40,000, and I'm like, shit, I did this wrong. So good to know for everybody that, the only thing on that program, I never messed it up after that, but you get the money after the renovations are complete.
Right. Right. Now the lawyer holds the money for the renovations. Am I correct?
Yeah. So they hold the money, and what actually happens, they want you to get the renovations done within 90 days because you're actually paying interest on the full amount. Mm-hmm. So the lenders are trying to say like, hey, hurry up, get it done. You're paying for it anyways. So let's get it out the door. So it's a really good program if used correctly. Yeah. And if set up correctly by the mortgage agent as well.
Wow. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. I know we've used it a few times when it came out, but we kind of, us as realtors, we kind of just, just don't bring it up to the forefront, which I think is important.
In a white hot market, I don't think it really has any bearing. when the market shifts or changes, I think it's great. I think, you know, sellers could get a couple of estimates for kitchens, have them there ready, and then so that when the buyers come, it's a lot easier, right, Brian? Wouldn't you say, like having a
totally agree.
Yeah.
I think it's a great.
On the listing agent side, I think on the listing agent side, I think you got to be more equipped on the listing agent side than dealing with it on the buyer side, right?
Yeah,
it takes time, right, in terms of the qualifying process, right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, guys, time's running up, and I just want to say, listen, if you're looking to find out more about the Mortgage Home Improvement Program, look up mission35.com, and Brian will be able to help you. Conrad, thanks again, buddy, and we'll see you next week. Take care,
great.
guys.
Okay.
Thanks, Rob.
Bye-bye.
See you guys.